Sunday to you. So if you're watching this video, that means you're looking ahead and probably trying to see the Roman Senate activity that we're going to be having going on. Now, I'm going to explain this in class to you, of course, but this may help some of you get your mind wrapped around it as you're trying to do it for homework. This should be done on a document, so don't forget to do that. Google Document is probably the best and easiest way to do it. Good way to share it with me. I can take a look at it and things like that, and you won't lose it because hopefully it'll be in the cloud for you. Now, your goal in this assignment is as follows. It's pretty straightforward. You are going to put yourself in place of a Roman senator, or any senator at this point. You can even look at our Senate today. Scary thought. And you are going to be in charge of crafting 3 bills or 3 proposals. Basically what you're doing is coming up with an idea for what kind of law you're going to make. Now, we did the dictator assignment where you were the dictator and you were able to expand your will upon the people of the classroom, the school, the state, the country, the world, and the city is included. But what you need to do now is think about it going through the proper channels. You were attempting to make a law, but the only way this law is going to happen is if you actually get approval from the other senators, which means your classmates, during the activity in class, and you get at least 75% or more of the vote for them to approve it. Now, we could go for unanimous. Hardly anything's ever unanimous. You can choose any kind of law to propose you want to. However, don't sit there and propose a law that we already have. Don't propose a ridiculous law like, if you wear pink on Tuesdays, you go to jail. Okay, nah. Amusing maybe, but not acceptable. Now, I just noticed, wearing the white shirt and the white background, looks like I'm going to disappear here. All right. In light of that, it is Sunday, and hopefully you've had or your mothers are going to be having a happy Mother's Day. For all those mothers who end up watching this at some point, happy Mother's Day to you as well. Now, here's the thing. There's a few parts of this activity to remember. One, you're proposing and crafting 3 bills of your choosing, of your discretion, of your interests. This takes place in the modern times. So, 3 bills that you would propose to law that would be focused on something you feel strongly about. Now, number 1, when you come up with a bill, tell me why. Why do we need this bill? Why do we need this new law? And here's the reason that I'm going to say why. Because every year in California, particularly in California, hundreds and hundreds of new laws come into effect. No one can really keep track of them. That's why we have these special jobs called lawyers, right? And they go to law school and learn all this special stuff called legalese, all right? And there's case law, and there's all these other things about stuff that's going on because, hey, if you get in trouble, you may have broken a law and you don't even know about what it is. Majority of the big ones you kind of know, like stealing, murder, bad things like that. That kind of a big deal. It's common sense also. So why do you think your law is necessary? Second, funding. Where's the money going to come from? Okay? If you're going to say, well, we are going to build new schools in these areas. Okay, cool. Where's the money come from? Are you going to have bonds where people buy bonds and the homeowners around them are charged bond fees? Are you going to raise taxes? Always popular. Or something like that. I mean, you've heard your parents talk about taxes. You've heard me talk about taxes. I mean, geez, taxes are terrible. They serve a purpose, don't get me wrong. But the extent of the taxes sometimes can be quite painful. Additionally, enforcement. How do you enforce your law? Now remember, you have law enforcement, okay? The police. Their job is not always justice. Their job is enforcement. So they're enforcing a law. Now, there's the legal code, and it says if somebody breaks this law, this action takes place. Okay, that may be arrest, it may be a fine, it may be a court trial, who knows? So, enforcement. How is it going to be enforced? Okay? And then, of course, under enforcement comes something that I haven't put down yet, which is going to be consequences. There are always consequences for our actions, right? Good or bad, there are consequences. That's the beauty about living in American freedom, or at least the freedom that we've been able to enjoy for a long time now. You have the freedom to make a good choice, and you have the freedom to make a poor choice. Poor choices lead to consequences. Those consequences may mean arrests, jail time, loss of rights and privileges. It's sort of like just being in a classroom. You have freedom, but there's consequences. In a classroom, the teacher provides the enforcement, all right? And if the teacher has to send you out, then somebody like me, who's a teacher, but also the dean, may also have to deal with the enforcement as well as the implementation of consequences. From there, it could go to the middle school head, or even to the head of the entire school. That's, of course, kind of that chain of command the way it goes. In our world, the enforcement arm is the police department, all right? Law enforcement. If you do go to jail, you have the peace officers, okay? You have the penal association, you have the prison guards, you have all those people that are doing certain aspects of their jobs to enforce things that have been consequence. So, why is your bill necessary? Is it necessary? Funding. How are you going to pay for it? That's always a trick, right? Always, always a fight. 3, enforcement. How do you enforce it? What are the consequences? Okay? I remember when I first started out teaching, I would talk to some teachers and they would say, don't have a rule in your classroom or something. It's going to be really hard to enforce, or somebody's not going to follow. So that's one of those things, don't make laws that people aren't going to want to follow. Now think about speeding in your car, okay? There's that speed limit, Freeway 65, and a lot of people don't follow that. A lot of people go over it or right up to it really quickly and just kind of bounce around there. Some people are nuts and they go flying on the road and just completely irresponsible. But when the law enforcement, the police officers around, everyone kind of dials it back and straightens up, right? Because you're being watched. It's like when a teacher walks by you outside at lunch and you've been using foul language and the teacher's coming in and like, shh, quiet, and you clean up your language, all right? Yeah, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And if you're laughing about it at this point, then you know exactly and you understand. You've probably been in those situations. It's like when you're on a Zoom call, Zoom lesson, and you're looking out the window, or you're looking down, you're smiling and laughing. I can see your thumb come up or like your hand move, all right? And that's not part of the lesson. Tricky. Humans are humans. We all make choices, right? Some good, some bad, some worse than others, some pretty minimal too. But remember, you're crafting a bill. So, why to have it? How do you fund it? What's the enforcement? That's the focus of this lesson. Good luck.